Alright, so this is where we had left off. And what I want to do in this lesson is I want to create like a frill or like a border for the neck. But before that, I want to take care of one thing. Like if we had noticed, like since we had noticed this, like if you go to frame 2 and you see like the neck kind of just, completely breaks apart. So I kind of realized what was going wrong. And what's going wrong is with our group. Okay, so if we come in here to these points, and the problem is here when we create the group for dissolving. So what's happening is that when we go to frame 2, you'll notice that it selects more edges than it needs to. Like it only needs to select this edge. So the value is wrong. So what we need to do is if we take this value up to say about 0.25, then it kind of works. So you just go ahead and just make sure that nothing else is getting selected. So this is fine, like 0.25 is good. And so now our neck should work better. Okay, like if we come back down here, and now if we start to change the values, see, now it's fine. Now the neck doesn't break. Okay, so along with this, I want to do one more thing, which is when we did the smooth. Okay, where did we do the smooth? Just give me a second. We need to find the race op. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have the race op and then we did a smooth with this. And what was happening is it sort of just drops down a little bit. So let's say if we don't want it to drop down. Okay, like we want to smoothen it, but we don't want it to drop down too much. So what we can do is we can try to do a blend between these two things. But we want to blend using a color. So what I'm going to do is at this point, let's give it a color. And we're going to make it black. And then I'm going to take both these lines. We'll do a merge, like we'll take this merge. I'll do a color here. And this will be white. And let's do a transfer. So we'll do an attribute transfer. So this and that. And just lower the value till you just get this. Okay. And then like that can be fed into the smooth. So what we want to do is we want this, and then the middle part should get smoothened out. Okay, so the middle part, let's say, whatever value you want to smoothen it out to. So the top will remain fixed and the bottom and like the middle section will get smoothened out. So we're going to take an attribute warp. We'll call it mix. And we want this and the second one. So just come in, and what we want is like wherever it is white, the original geometry should remain, and wherever it is black, the smooth area should come in. So we're going to do an import point attribute, and we want to import the position of the second input. So if you plug the result into position, see, there you go. So that's the smoothened out input. And we're just going to take a mix, and we want to take the color. So we'll do a vector to float. And we want the current position should come to, or the original position should come to 2 in input 2, because we're doing black and white. So white is the second one and black should be the first one. This comes into the first, and the red, any of these you can put into bias. So if you've done it right, there you go. See, so the top section remains the way it is, and the middle is what is getting, smoothened out. So even if I drop it, see, so you're getting something like that. What we can do is we can try to blur this a little bit more, or you can just take the attribute and kind of just smoothen it out. So the carve should be a little bit better now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what this will allow us to do is that, those points remain fixed to where the cut lines are. So like if I come back here and take a look, see, these points are, they're not moving away from it. Like what was happening earlier is if it was just the smooth, like if I just plug in the smooth here, see, those kind of move away from the original position. And if you plug this in, see, those lines remain fixed over here, which is better, like which is what we want. Okay, so this is done. So now we're going to start building the frill for this, or the edge, for the whole thing. So again, we're just going to do it separately for the top and separately for the base. Okay, so we're just going to take the bottom piece first of all, okay, which looks fine. Actually, we can just pick it up from the resample. We don't need it to be like a NURBS curve. Or actually, yeah, let's keep it to NURBS. It's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to take a convert. And what I want to do is, actually, let's do one thing. Let's come up to the whole thing. Okay, like we were deleting this much, but I don't want to, not for this particular thing. I'm just going to do a slight carve and give it a little bit of gap in the beginning and the end, just a little bit, like not a lot. Yeah, and then maybe do a resample again, because like these points come in too close. I don't want any of that happening. So I'm just going to do a resample again, give it about say 50 points. Yeah, I think 50 is good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a mirror. So we have this, and then, so this is actually, there's nothing smart here. Okay, what I'm going to do straight up is we're just going to do a skin, and we're going to do it by just copying the face a bunch of times. Okay, so I'm just going to do a transform here, and we'll do a pivot, and we'll do $CEX, $CEY, and $CEZ. And then we can just take this and move it up a little and just scale it up a little. So we have this. Okay, pretty straightforward, like nothing overly fancy. And what we can do is, so the reason I did a mirror is so that I can get the pivot in the center. If you don't do a mirror, this will come over here, and that's wrong. So the only reason for doing the mirror was so that I get, so that I can scale from the center, like no other reason. Okay, initially we just want half, anyways, because that makes life easier. You're working on less geometry. And then, like let's say if I want like one more, so I can just take this and do Control-C, Control-V, and take it slightly higher, and maybe just scale it up a little bit more. Yeah, so something like this, something that looks a little bit fancier. And then I can just merge them together. So this comes first, that goes second, and this is third. So we can just take all three of these, just do a merge. Make sure you convert this to NURBS as well. So just do a convert here, and this will be NURBS curve. Okay. And so 1, 2, and 3. The order is important because that's how the skinning will happen. And then just put a skin. Actually, do one thing, do a clip and get rid of half of it. Okay, so I'm just going to do a clip, 1 and 0, yeah. And just skin it, and there you go. Okay. So if you want to adjust it a little bit, we can just move it like this. And we can come into the skin and we can try to adjust the order down to say 1. Yeah, so see, this gives you, a bit of a border like that. And then if we just mirror it now, and just for now, if I just merge it into this and we do out neck, see, so this is basically what you get. So it gives you like a nice little border on the whole thing. We can just come in here and take a look at this. So you get like a little bit of a border on the whole thing. But what I want to do is, let's just detail it up a little bit more, because that just looks, really simple and stupid. Okay, so let's also do one thing. Let's adjust the scaling a little more. So I just want to take this and like scale this up a little. Yeah, and then just scale that up as well. Yeah, so it just sort of spreads out a little bit like that. Yeah, this is good. You can define how much you want, like how fancy do you want it to be, and maybe just move it down. Okay, so this is fine. Like if I do so the nice thing about this is this won't break, because you're just skinning the shape directly. It's not going to cause any issues. Okay, so what I want to do is, let's convert this. So we'll convert this to, like, let's just keep this way down here. And I'm going to convert this to polygon. and then just do a poly extrude and give it some thickness. So the usual thing, we'll do like a front and back kind of a thing. So Control C, Control V, say right click, copy parameter, paste relative reference and minus, okay, and then do a reverse and merge them together, and then do a fuse, and let's put a normal here just so that it looks okay. Keep it to 30 degrees. We'll do face area, and then we can also try to sort of bevel it a little bit. So I can just take a group and we'll do group edges and group by minimum edge angle, yeah, and then do a slight bit of bevel. So let's just call it bevel, and yeah, just a little bit. Make sure this is only one, and yeah, we can do the normal afterwards. There we go. So there you go. So this looks much more better, and then we can plug that in here, and let's just see what we get. Yeah, it's okay. This looks decent enough. So you get something like, what we can do is let's carve it here so it doesn't intersect with the neck, like the front and back piece. The back piece, yeah, the front and back piece, let's just, let's carve it. So if we take the carve here and then we can just adjust it a little bit. Okay, that's the front. Hold on, let's just cut this from here. Yeah, I think this is good. And the same thing here. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Yeah, okay, so there you go. So this essentially happens because of bevels. Okay, like if you look at the poly bevel, if you bypass the poly bevel, you'll see the problem go away. See, there you go. So that happens because of beveling. Okay, so what we can do is we can essentially do the same thing we were doing before, which is we take the group and we dissolve the edges. Okay, so that's like that's a nice little trick that you can use all the time. So whenever you have problems like these, that's what you do. Okay, so just take, yeah, I just need to remember where we use that. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, it's down here. Yeah, so Control C, Control V, and cut this out. Let's do Control X. And we come down to this guy, do Control V, and plug that in. And there you go, it's gone. Okay. So it takes care of that issue. Because sometimes the vertices or the points get too close and then it causes spikes, and it's very difficult to try and repair that. So instead of trying to repair it, you just get rid of the edge altogether. Okay, so it causes lesser issues. Okay, now another thing we can try with this is I can try to generate like an extra amount of detailing in here. So let's try something. Okay, like what we can do is we can take this skin and then we can again try to just extract some points out of this. Okay, so we'll again take a carve here. That's why, like, for some cases it's better to work with NURBS because you can do stuff like this. It makes it a lot easier. So yeah, just keep this to 1 and 0 and then click extract and just extract a whole bunch of points. So let's take about 60 of them. And what I can try to do is I can try to do a skin. Let's also do one thing. Let's do a carve here. And I just want to cut it from the base. And let's also do one thing here. Let's take a carve at this point, and I want to cut it from the top just a little bit. So with the skin, what I want to do is I want to say group n primitives. See, so you'll get something like this, but I want to group 3. Okay, so this will look a little nice. And then we do the exact same thing here. So I can just take this, do Control C, Control V. Okay, so it gets converted and then you'll get this, but just a little more value. Okay, so let's keep this to 0.01 or let's try 1.2. And yeah, let's merge these together. Hopefully it should just work. Yeah, let's do Control C, Control V and plug that in. We'll put a merge here and let's just plug that in here. So what it should do is you'll get something a little more, see, you'll get like a little more fancy stuff happening on the edge. So if we merge it back again, see, so you get something a little more interesting looking than what you were getting before. Okay, so that's essentially it. So this is the, this is the base design that we wanted. And let's just give it some color as well. So we can give the color here. Let's try a color, for this and a color for that. So let's make this darker and let's make this red as well. So you'll get something, yeah, there we go. That looks better. If you want to reduce the geometry count, you can, because it's mostly straight faces. So in the convert, we can try to lower the, no, keep that. We lower the V direction, the U direction. Yeah, okay. The U and V both actually, because you don't need it to be this dense. We can try to do it here as well, so even this convert, we can just try to lower both. So we're not dealing with that much geometry. And where's the normal? Yeah, okay. So let's take the normal down to about 20. Yeah, I think this is okay. No, hold on. Yeah, just a second, because we have this normal here as well. So let's do one thing. Let's take that out. We'll give it here and there separately. Yeah, so there you go. So this is, relatively fancy looking. Okay, so in the next lesson, we'll take a look at the frill for the top. And then I want to add like one additional thing, which might not work with this one, but I'll just show you how I did like the neck muscles. So I had like these additional side muscles that were coming in. So we'll do that, in the video after we do the frill over here.